Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Robert Ziggy Ziegler up at Harvard University for another episode. No Zach or Jack today, as we are just getting dumped on by snow here in New Jersey today. We got about 20 inches, or maybe 14 inches or so, Ziggy. It's been pretty bad, and we have another couple 3 to 5 later this week. Has it been bad up in Boston?
Yeah, 3 to 5 inches remaining would be nice. We've got about 2.5 feet so far, with another 14 to 21 inches coming. You know,
Really?
I like the way that you frame this. Our audience isn't going to know this. We had this conversation 5 minutes ago, but I appreciate the change in framing from, I don't know how bad you've got it in Boston, but here in Jersey, we're getting obliterated to, hey, Ziggy, how about you tell me a little bit before I make a judgment?
3 minutes ago, not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes is generous. 1 minute ago, we started the show and I forgot to hit record, and Ziggy and I had probably a 2-minute conversation about the snowstorms. And I was blown away when Ziggy said there were 2 to 3 feet in Boston right now, and there's another foot to 2 feet coming in later tonight. 4 feet of snow. You said it's not accumulated though, right? Because 4 feet of snow on the ground to me is not something I really.
Well, we will see. The 75-mile-an-hour winds also don't help.
Have you heard? I'm stunned how bad it's been in Boston. I was just completely, I guess, absorbed with my world.
This has been this is the first blizzard in Boston, like a bona fide blizzard in 3 or 4 years.
It's pretty though. I enjoy watching. Like last night, it was 1:30 in the morning. I know, Ziggy, you've had your spurts as being a night owl. I don't know where you stand right now, but it's just kind of 1:30 in the morning. I was looking out the window, and there's kind of a calm when you're watching a snowstorm. As long as, I guess, there's not 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but here in Jersey, it was like 20-mile-per-hour winds. But it was kind of pretty to watch it, and it's just very reflective. It was fun, but it's always beautiful when the snow first falls, and then after a couple days, as everyone knows here who lives in cold weather, it starts to get a little dirty, and next then it's like, all right, where's springtime? Jack sent a text today and put it in a group chat. He said, all right, guys, might be time to go down to Delray for a year. And I was like, yeah. You might be right, as more snow is looming. But Jack and Zach will be back. The rest of the schedule for this week, we're going to actually do Behind Enemy Lines with Andy Herman tomorrow, and that will come out on Wednesday morning with a little bit of a NFC North off-season preview, some things we're looking for, dive into even some Lions and Bears. Lions and Bears fans be excited. We're going to have some segments on you guys in tomorrow's, or I guess Wednesday's episode. And then we'll get back to our normal routine. The snowstorm kind of threw everything off for us here for this week. It's like we can never get back on track on this show. But next week should be the week that we do get back on track. We have some mailbag questions towards the end of the episode. But really today, what I want to talk about, and I think we're going to do more and more of this during the off season, is when there's just a major event, we're going to try and talk about it in the sports world. We'll stick to sports for love of God. We'll stick to sports.
We're talking about the Kyle Pitts franchise tag.
Yeah, the Kyle Pitts. Ziggy, when you talk negatively about Kyle Pitts, we all know that he winds up having career games, maybe career seasons. So you could say whatever you want about it, but just know it will probably backfire severely. What we want to talk about, though, obviously the big hockey game yesterday. And I just want to start off by saying, Ziggy, we never really talk hockey between me and you. Well, we had maybe 3 or 4 conversations in our life about it. But I grew up a New Jersey Devils fan. And in 2012, they had a run to the Stanley Cup final. I never really got too into them, just the occasional game. This is always cheap tickets. But during the 2012 playoff run, I remember watching every single game. And, I started watching early in the series, early in the playoffs. They obviously went on a great run, and it was just so much fun. Like, I really enjoyed hockey for the first time in my life and was ready to buy in. And then the Devils made the playoffs one time over the next 10 years. And then somewhere in the early 2020s, my cousin Stephanie, a younger cousin, started getting into the Florida Panthers. And just as a way to kind of relate to her, because, she's enjoying sports. It was just one way. Okay, I'm a sports guy. I started watching the Panthers, and that's when they traded for Matthew Tkachuk. They go to the Stanley Cup final and lose. The past 2 years, obviously, they've won the Stanley Cup final. And I've just had some of the most fun in my sports world watching the Panthers go on these runs. And shockingly, I've become the most successful, I'd say, of any of the sports I cheer for, is the Florida Panthers, which is just
by a lot.
By a lot. It's really not even close. I told Stephanie, don't get used to this. This is not how sports work. She's like, this is easy. This is amazing. We always win. It's like, that's not really how it goes. But yesterday, I guess yesterday, watching USA Canada in the Olympics, the gold medal game, I looked at my dad in the middle of the first period and said to him, this is the pinnacle of watching hockey for me. Like, this is as good as it gets. And I've come very far into where I'm now. Like, if there's a big hockey game, it's almost like must watch for me. I don't know how often you're watching hockey, Ziggy, but for anyone who's not doing it, you need to start. It is a phenomenal sport. And I think yesterday was a great day for the non-hockey fans. The NHL is on fire right now. And I know this was Olympics, but like the NHL and the hockey world is on fire right now because the guys play with so much passion and they're so skilled that it's just every time you turn on a game, it's immediately, it draws me in. And you said you didn't watch the game, right?
I've seen one hockey game in my entire life.
What game was that?
It was the team in Nashville is the Predators, right?
Yes.
It was a Predators Avalanche playoff game. I was in Colorado when it was on TV.
Oh, Ziggy, I'm telling you, you got to start watching
the overtime period, but
you only saw the overtime. So you had no interest in watching the gold medal game yesterday?
Absolutely not.
Wow. I thought it was one of the top, without a doubt, one of the top USA related sporting events I've ever watched in my life. I'm excited for the World Cup, and we're just going to get pounded in the World Cup. But watching this USA Canada game, and this wasn't, I know some people were talking about it was the 46th year anniversary of the Miracle on Ice. Like, this was not that. Canada was better than the US yesterday by honestly a lot. I think the projected score would have been like 6-1, if not for the performance from Hallebuyck, the goalie, the US goalie. But the Miracle on Ice was a much different animal. I mean, these Canada and the US was almost a pick 'em, I believe, going into the game. This was not college kids against the best team in the world.
I also like 46th anniversary. Like, every time it's the Olympics, going to be some anniversary.
Yeah.
This was not they weren't playing for the Miracle on Ice team.
No. Well, I don't know. I actually,
they were just playing because they wanted to win.
To a degree, though. I mean, it was pretty cool having, I think Larkin, one of the players, had Micah Ruzioni on his shoulders celebrating at a bar in Milan after the game. Like, but it was a joy to watch. I mean, the USA-Canada games, for Ziggy, for you who's doesn't like hockey, I don't know when they're going to do it again, because Four Nations, I believe, is not going to happen in 2027. They're trying, instead of the All-Star weekend, they're going to go for like a hockey World Cup, I know. There's no better way to get introduced, I think, than these international games, because in a way that I think a lot of other sports, major sports, might lack, the USA, or I'm sorry, as far as USA is concerned, we're kind of underdogs, like in the hockey world. In basketball, like, it's fun. Well, I enjoyed watching LeBron and Curry in the Olympics a couple of years ago, but the U.S. hockey team, I mean, that basketball team, it's like if they don't win, it's a failure. And with the hockey team, we're not the best in the world. I know we won the gold, but Canada they were way better. And there's something about being the underdog that's just a lot of fun. And man, I wish you had watched it, Ziggy, because the performance from the U.S. goalie was one of the best you'll ever see. Jack Hughes, the Devils player, had the game-winning goal and what's going to be one of the most iconic shots in the history of U.S. hockey, probably after some of the Miracle on Ice plays. I thought it was just amazing. You really didn't even watch a second of it, not the highlights or anything?
Why? I'm not interested.
You got to get interested.
A slight underdog won a hockey game. That's neat, I guess. Good for them.
Well, what I really enjoy about what the NHL did last year with the Four Nations was it sort of served as a wake-up call to the other leagues and the All-Star games, because the All-Star games have turned into a glorified hangout in most sports, right? I mean, football, legitimately, it's just flag football now. Basketball for years has been pretty much chucking up threes and throwing dunks off the backboard, which is cool, but what fans really want to see are the best players playing to the best of their abilities. And that's what the games are supposed to be about. And I understand that there's a certain degree of people don't want to get hurt in these games. You have a full season. It's supposed to just be an exhibition. But when the players take it seriously, and this is what I'm starting to really appreciate about hockey, not that I'm a hockey super fan or anything, right? We're not going to start talking about a ton of hockey on the show. But whenever you watch the game, like, these are just dudes who love their sport and play their ass off every time. And in the Four Nations, all the players took it so seriously that I actually think there was a ripple effect into the NBA, where you saw for the first time in years in the USA versus World format they had, the round robin. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but some guys were really trying. Victor Wembanyama was really trying to win that game. And I thought that was a direct result of the success the Four Nations had from the NHL All-Star game last year. And man, I mean, when US and Canada are on the ice right now, there's real hatred there. Like, it is intense, and it's fun. Ziggy, go back and watch the highlights. I really think you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way to get you to watch this thing.
So some people are really into just sports, and I think this is fair enough. I would not say I'm a person who's like into sports. So if you tell me like a really cool sporting event happened, this doesn't get me very excited.
Wow.
I'm much more interested in looking at film for the NFL Combine.
Man, you
like,
are
if you tell
a
me
true
you can
craftsman.
watch the highlights of one of the, like, say 10 greatest US hockey games of all time. I'll spot you that. You can watch the highlights of that, or you can spend 10 more minutes getting ready to know more about the Combine. I'm going to spend 10 more minutes getting ready to know more for the Combine.
Oh, Ziggy, look, even though we're a football podcast, I really think that you are cutting yourself short here. I mean, you going back and watching this, just the performance of Hallebuyck alone, who had one of the most unbelievable saves you'll ever see.
I bet it was incredible.
It was great. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'd rather watch Sonny Styles tape.
Wow. Yeah, you are a true craftsman here. For anyone who didn't watch it, go back and watch the highlights. Jack Hughes took a shot. Surely you've seen the picture of Jack Hughes' face, right? And the teeth knocked out. Oh, Ziggy. So you literally, all right, before we started this, Ziggy said, Paul, you're going to just need to talk because I didn't watch any of the game. You truly know nothing about the game.
Jack Hughes plays for the Devils, right?
Well, yeah, I just said that.
Yeah, I guess I know who he is. I actually, there's only one reason I know who he is and who he plays for the Devils, but I can't say it on air.
He took...
But that's like, seriously, that is my knowledge of hockey goes that deep.
Our friend has a crush on Jack Hughes. That's why Ziggy knows who he is. He took a shot to the face at the end of the game. Just a stick right to the face, knocked out, chipped his front tooth basically off, chipped the other front tooth, missing some bottom teeth. I mean, it was one of the nastiest sticks to face that I've ever seen in hockey. And
does your friend still have a crush on Jack Hughes? I
think so. I believe the crush still exists. Well,
even after the...
Well, here's what we said. We said, do you still have a crush on Jack Hughes? Or I asked, does Jack Hughes losing his teeth but having the game-winning goal in the gold medal game make him hotter? And I got back absolutely. I got back infinitely.
So fair enough. No, this is fair.
But what was unbelievable is you see him get hit in the face, and everyone goes, "Oh, like that looks extraordinarily painful." The announcer said he's picking up teeth, and a couple minutes later, dude's back in the game. Like, and they show him smile, and the front of his teeth is all gone, and there's blood all over the other side. It was like these hockey guys are kind of crazy. And that's what makes it a little fun. That's why I think anyone who listens to this show is a football fan. It's just nonstop action. And the dudes are, I mean, the dudes are lunatics. They're flying all over the place. Now, maybe regular season hockey is a little, probably
you
a little
don't play
less
like
intense.
that every game.
No, not every game. But man, I'm telling you, like, as far as a must-win game, like what sport do I want to see? Football's number one for me. But hockey is right there with basketball for number two. It might even be at number two for me. I'm just really enjoying it lately.
See, it's funny you say that because to me, the World Baseball Classic is the must-see TV event of the season.
No, and that it's a great sports year, right? World
like
Cup,
that's
Olympics.
what you can get me interested in is U.S. v. Japan, Dominican Republic.
So okay, I'm sorry. I come out here and I show you USA Canada gold medal game. You know, they're just crazy emotion all over the place in this. And one of the best moments, Ziggy, you hear about Johnny Gaudreau, the American hockey player who was killed by a drunk driver like a year and a half ago, him and his brother. It's really sad, horrible story, but he was on the team. They skated around the rink with his jersey up and brought his kids out. His two little, like very young kids. I think he has a third actually, but they brought two of them out for the team picture. Like, I mean, just an iconic sports moment, really. I can't sell you on the passion of this game, but the World Baseball Classic for Japan, you're going to be like, well, that's it. I mean, like, now you got
Paul, I'm not doubting there's a lot of passion and emotion and excitement in the game. I'm just not interested.
Give it a shot. That's what I'm saying. No, the World Baseball Classic should be really fun too. I didn't watch it last time.
I'm more interested in baseball than hockey. I'm more interested in basketball than hockey. I'm more interested in cycling. I'm more interested in ice skating. I'm more interested in alpine downhill. I'm more interested in biathlon. Like, hockey is very low on the list here.
So this segment, you should listen back to everything I'm saying right now. This segment's really for someone like you to try and start watching hockey. Again, we're not going to talk hockey on the show a lot, so maybe I'm just losing fan base by telling people to abandon. But I'm saying,
it's not. There's a lot of NFL news to talk about.
Well, we got the Combine coming up. We got Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
today
Sunday
in particular, right? Like, it's the first day of the Combine. What do you even say?
Yeah, we'll have a lot of NFL news coming, and as I was saying before, we're going to do a lot of NFC North talk with Andy tomorrow. So this is kind of a more what's happening right now. And I mean, this is the biggest story in sports by a mile, is winning this game. I'm telling you, man, it was a lot of fun. And what was kind of crazy about it was just how much we got our ass kicked. Do you remember the Tim Howard Belgium game from the World Cup a couple, like 12 years ago, something like that, where he just had, monster save after monster save, kept the U.S. in the game?
I've never seen a game of soccer.
All right. What am I supposed to do here? There's a reason, I guess, we're a football podcast, but it reminded me of that, where we were just getting...
Like, this is like me asking you, Paul, do you remember like when Fabian Cancellara cranked out one of the greatest time trials you've ever seen at the 2004 Tour de France prologue? Like, no.
Well, there's a difference between talking about the Tour de France, which is not a very popular sport here in America, versus like the World Cup game with the U.S. in the knockout stage that most people were watching. Like, most people were watching the U.S. hockey game yesterday morning.
It's just untrue that most people were watching it.
Yeah, all right, I guess in our circles, most people...
You were dramatically overestimating
our whole group chat from college was talking about the hockey game all morning. Like,
oh yeah, the group chat I don't get messages for.
Oh, all right. It's an impossible... Anyone listening right now, surely
look, I mean, people feel my frustration. On your side. Like, I'm not here trying to dunk on you.
But Ziggy, it was crazy how much better Canada was, and it just so happened, it goes to overtime, and it was 3-on-3 in overtime, normally 5-on-5. And we got the golden goal, which I don't really like. I know Canada started whining about having it be 3-on-3 instead of 5-on-5 at the end. And
well, they weren't whining when they won 2 overtime games before then either.
Exactly. Yep. So
all I'm saying is, if you're enjoying this, wait until the next collective bargaining agreement where they're going to go back and say NHL players can't play in the Olympics again.
Yeah, that'll be horrible. I hope they can play every single time. But that's what I mean. It's just so fun to see best on best when they really care. And that's something that, to me, the NBA has been lacking a bit with, a feeling of maybe the players just not caring at times. And hockey, I just have found that that's not the case. And the fans are great too. Like everything about it is a lot of fun. I didn't grow up a hockey dude. I'm still not really a hockey guy, but whenever I dip my toes into that water, like, man, this is a fun world to be in right now. And, one of my buddies produces the Kachuk Brothers podcast. Matthew Kachuk is like the most successful guy I've ever rooted for. He wins Stanley Cups for the Panthers, wins gold medals for the U.S. Every other person I root for loses, except Matthew Kachuk. So he's been a revelation in my sports fandom. But yeah, Ziggy, I think you'd really enjoy watching it. At least going back and watching the highlights of it. Could be a good gateway for you.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk a little bit. We got some mailbag questions here. Ziggy, you said it caught your attention. And by the way, for anyone who's listening, if you're enjoying the show, please remember to give us a like, comment. Let us know if you watch the gold medal game. If you agree with Ziggy that hockey's just not worth the watch. And of course, if subscription could really help us. Another thing you can do is go over to our Instagram page, the Paul Farrington Show, at Farrington Show, and give us a follow there, as we're trying to build up some of our social media presence over this off season. So, the Combine starts Thursday,
But before we move on to the combine, I want to give our fans something they can talk about the water cooler about the Winter Olympics.
What?
So, one of the major themes of this show is Minnesota versus Wisconsin, right? That's one of the things we sort of built our whole brand on.
Okay.
And I have something unpleasant to admit as a fan of the Minnesota Vikings and sports teams in the state of Minnesota. If you look at the states that have sent athletes, individual athletes to the Winter Olympics, number one, obviously, is Colorado, right? With 30 athletes at the Olympics. Minnesota is actually number 2 at 24. And Wisconsin has sent only 6. So I thought, oh, this is great. Minnesota showing what we do. We dominate the winter sports. But then if you look at the medals, Colorado obviously leads all states of 3 gold medals. Wisconsin has 2 from their 6 athletes, and we have 0. So unfortunately, that Minnesota sports curse seems to carry on into the Olympics, and the blue skies Wisconsin nonsense also continues to the Olympics.
Here's where I'm a little fortunate, I guess. We are only Vikings fans. Now, at the same time, being a Vikings fan is so painful that I resonate with the other Minnesota sports teams' failures, because I get it, right? Like I see what happens to these other Minnesota teams outside of the Lynx, who are just unbelievable. Well, Maya Moore.
Yeah, they're carrying the whole state. Like the Wild,
forever.
The Timberwolves, the Twins.
Oh, it's a miserable sports state. I mean, even the college team, right? I mean, even the Gophers in basketball and football are just basically irrelevant. It is, for such a great sports city, they are tortured. Like, I mean, beyond belief tortured as a sports city. And I'm lucky that I root for. Now, look, it's not like my other teams are running around here, lifting trophies like we're in Boston or something. But as a New York, New Jersey sports fan, it's a little bit of a reprieve from the Vikings in Minnesota have tragic outcomes. But I always felt bad for them. Like, I'll root for if my teams aren't in it, I'll cheer on the Minnesota team to go on a run just because it's that bad as a Viking fan. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. The Minnesota people probably no one medaled. It was just
they got horrible. 1 silver and 2 bronzes.
Yeah, I mean, you take that. I had so much fun watching the Olympics this year. I like every year that there's an Olympics, I kind of watch more and more, and just like I think it's also good background TV to have if you're doing something. And this year I paid a little bit more attention. I was like, man, Winter Olympics was fun. People always talk about how much better summer is. I thought the skiing, as someone who's now gone skiing before, right? I used to, growing up, I never did. Recently, our college friends like to go. I don't know how they do that. That's like, I've been terrified going down a mountain. I've lost control just going 30 miles per hour. It's not, now again, this is not like a controlled 30 miles per hour. Like I'm intentionally trying to go fast. I mean, like I've been unable to stop going 20, 25 miles per hour down the hill, thinking like, this is how people actually die. I don't know how they're ripping 80 and these turns. They are just phenomenal athletes. It is so much fun to watch. I had a great time.
It's risky. I mean, I don't know if you saw any of those pictures of Lindsey Vohn's foot.
No, that's what. How is she even skiing on a torn ACL?
She's built different.
I guess that's the only answer.
But it's she was extremely close to having her leg amputated because of the injury.
Oh man.
Like if you look at the X-ray, it doesn't resemble a human body part. But the surgeons there are really competent and got it done.
So if I just Google X-ray,
I'm not sure if it'll come up. I had to dig pretty deep to find it, but it's unreal. Like it's on her Instagram. It's basically just
like, you had to dig pretty deep. It's on her Instagram.
What?
He said I had to dig pretty deep. It's on her Instagram.
Well, I mean, you can't like Google it and see it in a news article.
It's on Lindsey Vohn's Instagram that has.
Well, it doesn't matter how many followers she has.
I just want to see 3.5 million followers. It's hard to find.
It took me a while to find it when someone mentioned this
cover photo.
But it looks
cover
like
photo of one of her posts.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm being a jerk. Go ahead.
No, I mean, look, it's when someone tells you where it is, it's very easy to find, isn't it?
Yes, that's true. All right, like go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's just it doesn't look like a leg bone. It looks like something else. You shouldn't be going 80 miles an hour on ice
without an ACL.
With an ACL, you shouldn't be doing it.
Dude, I'll never forget the first time I went skiing. I couldn't stop. And there were people, luckily it was a green, but I mean, you can pick up speed. And I genuinely didn't know what to do. I was French frying when I should have pizzas, as they say in South Park. And I was flying by people who just started laughing because they knew what was going on. It's like, how the hell are these people laughing? And I see like a couple trees coming up. I'm like, yeah, like people really die from this. And
15 people have died in Tahoe alone this year.
Really? Jeez.
Skiing.
Yeah, I just bailed. I just ducked and I barrel rolled like 600 times down. Luckily it was fine, but it's scary. Like it is a scary sport. And I think that for a lot of these sports, and maybe it's with winter sports, people just can't resonate with it the same way. Cause I don't go ice skating very often. I've never gone bobsledding or I've, played curling or luge, any of it. Like it's a little harder to understand how difficult it is. Like, when you see someone run the 100-yard dash or the swimming, it's like things we do all the time. The Winter Olympics is a little more niche, at least for me and a lot of my friends.
See, I feel the opposite. To me, It's like, well, hold on. The 100-yard dash or the swimming, they're doing what I do, just a little bit faster.
No, not a little.
Like skiing and ice skating, I'm like, I don't even know how you stand up and do that.
That's what I mean. It's like, oh yeah, I guess I don't know. To me, I think people enjoy it more because they're like, like they understand just how fast Usain Bolt is running, but you don't really get the 80 miles per hour down a mountain is sick. that is crazy. So
Usain Bolt can run a 100-yard dash like 5 seconds faster than me. These people can ski down a mountain hours faster than me.
Yeah, legitimately. And the girl I watched, Alyssa Liu, I think, was the American figure skater who won gold. It's the first time we won gold in like 24 years. Yeah. That was really cool. What?
Go Oakland. She's from
she
Oakland.
is. Yeah. I mean, that was really fun watching her. Like, I just had a great time watching the Olympics. It's sad to see it over, but you mentioned it's a great sports year. Olympics, baseball classic, World Cup. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And of course, the NFL Combine is starting up right now. And you said something that caught your eye was Jeremiyah Love, right?
Yeah, more players this year than usual are interested in doing drills at the Combine, but particularly to see someone like Jeremiyah Love, who's up there being considered as a top 10 pick, agreeing to do things like running the 40-yard dash. It's highly unusual.
It has to be a move to vault him into the top 10, right? Like that has to be the reasoning. Is Jeremiyah Love, we've seen him for 3 years at Notre Dame. You could go back on this show and find the moment that I said he's the best player in the country. I think that was 2 years ago at this point.
And he was.
Maybe more. Maybe more than 2 years ago. I said, we have the best player in the country. No one knows it right now. And watching his evolution, from really good to great player to, probably should have won the Heisman this year, if we're being honest. He's amazing. And I have to imagine the decision to run, they're expecting him to run in the low 4.3s. I've seen some mock drafts, and my fingers are crossed, man. If he's there at 18 for the Vikings, I'm sure some people feel certain ways about running backs in the first round. I would love to have Jeremiyah Love. What they're trying to do in his camp, if he runs a 4.3, if he performs the way that I think he would perform athletically, now you're going to start making the Jahmyr Gibbs comp because everyone's looking for that Jahmyr Gibbs player. And I think Jeremiyah Love can be it. Like, if the Chiefs take him at 9, I think that's a great pick for them.
Well, yeah, and some people are wondering, like, Arvo Reese, it looks like he's going to do it. Sonny Styles is going to do it. People wonder, there's a lot to lose in doing those drills. But if Jeremiyah Love, say he goes from 15 to number 9, right? He really impresses the Saints and moves up there. His rookie contract goes from $20 million to 30.
Yeah.
He's just getting 50% more money the first 4 years of his NFL career. And $10 million.
And we see the way teams and people, right, in the media react to combine results. If you go out there and you think, hey, I'm the best athlete of the position, like Jeremiyah Love thinks he is, you go out there and show out, you're going to get a lot of wind behind your back as you move up the draft boards. And I think it's a great decision for him. I totally understand the people who don't want to risk things. Fernando Mendoza, you feel locked in at the number 1 pick. Yeah. Like, why do anything? You don't need to do it. And if you were a guaranteed top 5 pick, you probably don't need to do it. But if you're Jeremiyah Love, who's I'd say a mid first round selection right now, he's going to go out there and shock people. Like I guarantee you he's going to move up after this week.
I mean, it's an NFL.com mock draft just had him going in the top 5. Like, all you have to do is impress one team, and that's it.
And he's that good too. Like, I really do believe he's that good. Great pass catcher out of the backfield. Obviously, the breakaway speed. That's what teams are looking for. You want playmakers. It's always boggled my mind when I get in arguments with Jack about running backs value. And I know you kind of are on. You see both sides, so you kind of understand it. But to me, if you have a dude that every time he touches the ball can score, he's someone I want on my team. And Jeremiyah Love is that.
And I would bet you the Tennessee Titans are a team on his mind that he could go that high if he really impresses people. Right? You've got a more old-fashioned defensive-minded head coach. You've got a number 1 overall pick quarterback that's looking for weapons on the offense. Like that, if I'm Jeremiyah Love, I'm thinking if I go out there and really shock people, number 4 is on the table.
Dude, I gotta stop gassing him up so much. This is wrong for me as a Viking fan. Now I'm torn, right?
We all know he's not making it to 18, so we can gas him up.
It's pretty funny watching. I'm looking at the mock drafts, and a lot of them have the Vikings. Like, there's a lot of Vikings Jeremiyah Love smoke right now, and we interviewed him at the Super Bowl, and we said to him, "Hey, would you like to go to Minnesota?" And put out the reel saying Jeremiyah Love wants to be a Viking, even though in the interview he said I'd be blessed to go anywhere. So we're trying to make our push for him. But
oh no!
What?
I just had a thought.
What?
What if what happened to Kyle Hamilton happens with Jeremiyah?
Well, no.
He's there at 18, trade down, we take a running back.
Don't even say that, because I started thinking that in the middle of this whole conversation.
No, but you and I both had, I think, probably at about the same time, the same thought.
Yes.
Just like, it's happening again.
Yes, where going into the Kyle Hamilton draft, there were some mock drafts that had him, I believe it was 13, right? 13 or 14.
People had him going in the top 5.
Oh, people had him going in the top 5, and there were some mock drafts that said if he falls, because he had a bad 40 time, right? Kyle had a bad 40 time. And if he falls, maybe he can make it to 13 to the Vikings. And the Vikings have a need at safety. And I, at the time, as we all know, at this point, I was producing the show Inside the Garage with Kyle. It's like, holy crap. If he falls, I'm going to be producing a show for a Viking. Like that is the dream for me as a sports media guy. And watching the draft, he starts to fall, like, honestly, inexplicably, because there's a difference in game speed and actual speed. Like there really is. This is why
the Rams don't even send people to the combine.
It doesn't matter.
These drills don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, you watch the games, right? Like, you see the Florida State interception Kyle had in week 1 where he ran across the field. It's like, okay, yeah, the dude's clearly a good football player. This is a rant that I go on sometimes. Like, you watch football players and sometimes, or any athlete, and you can just go, hey, that guy's really good. Or anything. Right? Think of like The Voice, or you turn around when you hear someone with a great voice. It's not like we don't need to go and listen to the different octave ranges they could get to. Can you sing a song? Like, that's sort of what it's like with football to me. Can you go out there and dominate? And that's what Kyle Hamilton did. That's what Jeremiyah Love did. And I'm just thinking right now, gosh, I see all these like Jeremiyah Love to Vikings. If he's there and they trade back, that would be a pretty big reaction show for us. Let's just say that.
It'd be worse than Kyle Hamilton.
No, Kyle was worse because of the relationship.
It'd be worse because it's happening again.
Maybe that would be it. I remember wanting to punch a wall when they traded back, and it was like, okay, maybe
you often get upset during the combine. That's sort of your signature move, is to ruin the combine for everyone.
Ruin the draft for everybody.
Yeah, ruin the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, I do ruin it. I'm a horrible person to watch the draft with, because the person I want is always there, and we never take that person, other than Percy Harvin in 2009, which I think worked out pretty well. Like, Percy was really good, rookie of the year.
But I'll say this: the combine, you're going to hear a lot about the players, the drills, the performance. People who are the coaches and GMs that are actually going to the combine. I'll tell you that for the Minnesota Vikings, their number one concern is not any of those guys. It's Tua and Kyler. That's what the Minnesota Vikings will be focusing on at the combine, is their quarterback situation.
Oh yeah, and we all know that the stories over the years of how the combine's just a place where everyone goes and things happen, right? Conversations happen. There are sidebars. That's why we were talking about trying to go to it, but it just, with the Super Bowl, a little too much. It's a great place to go because there's so much is happening behind the scenes. And then what I've heard is the GMs and everyone, they go and like get hammered at bars in Indianapolis, which sounds like it would be a lot of fun to go to. Yeah, I mean, you said you'd be upset with Kyler or Tua though for us.
Depends on what we give up. I mean, if the Dolphins are willing to eat most of Tua's salary and trade him to us pretty cheap, it's not like I think those players are complete garbage and not worth anything. I just don't think you can count on them as long-term options at quarterback.
Yeah, we'll get into a lot of it more with Andy on Wednesday's show, the NFC North and the Vikings quarterback situation, which is going to be a big story for us throughout this entire offseason. But all right, want to hit a little mailbag here? It's not a crazy show today.
It's the mailbag.
All right, and I gave Ziggy before we started. I said, Ziggy, why don't you just fully control this mailbag? Pick all the questions you want. So this could go anywhere, guys. I don't know where Ziggy's going to take this.
Well, we're going to start with a question from member Brad Putz. I have to get this out of the way, just because it's too horrible to think about. Question for Paul and Ziggy. Would you trade Justin Jefferson knowing you'll get a haul of draft picks and one of the draft picks turns into a generational quarterback talent like Mahomes, but the team that traded for Jefferson wins the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Would you do that trade?
Immediately.
And the answer is absolutely.
Yes. If you get a generational quarterback, I would trade anyone on the Vikings roster immediately.
I would trade probably everyone on the Vikings roster.
Legitimately, I might trade everybody. We had this conversation about Jack and Josh Allen with the Steelers. I would trade everyone on the Steelers for Josh Allen. Everyone. Because I think you could build back a contender fast enough. Is that insane? I would trade every single person in the hypothetical where you could do that.
The thing I worry about with Josh Allen is the age, but if it's going to be a draft pick who's 21, 22, 23, yeah, you got plenty of time.
Sure. I think this conversation started with Josh Allen like 2 years ago, too. So by now, the Steelers would be competing for Super Bowls. I think you need 2 seasons to get through. You have some drafting and free agency. Like, you could build together a team through free agency. People would want to play in Pittsburgh with Josh Allen. It would be, I mean, maybe I'm grossly misjudging like how all the finances work here. But I'd imagine in the event that you could just say, okay, Steelers start their books clean with Josh Allen and his salary, like go build a team. I think they could be competitive pretty quickly.
I mean, give it 2 or 3 years. When you're a rebuilding team, effectively, you're turning over almost all your roster except a couple of players within a few years. And like, take the Vikings, right? Which players on this team would you actually, in 2 or 3 years, be really sad to see go and feel they're irreplaceable? From my view, there's like 2. There's Justin Jefferson, there's Darrisaw.
Yeah, that's all that I can think of.
And like Grenard's a really good player. Van Ginkel's a really good player. I'm not saying those are the only good guys on the team.
No, they're all.
But in terms of players who I'd really be sad 3 years down the line, they're gone. It's those 2.
JJ McCarthy. Next question.
But we're replacing the quarterback. Next question. This one's coming in from Rolling Stone Works 3183. What have I got in my pocket?
That's the whole question.
I'm glad to see that we've got really good fans.
I'll go with
let's get to a real question here. This is from Cameron Unch. Top 3 receivers in this year's draft are Tate, Tyson, and Lemon. Who do you think is going to have the best NFL career, and who would you want most on your team? This applies to both the Steelers and the Vikings since they pick in the first round. I'll set aside which do I want to be on the Vikings. The Vikings take a wide receiver in the first round, I'm going to be upset.
Carnell Tate, it's weird because I know that obviously at OSU, Jeremiah Smith is the guy, right? But Tate might go like top 10, I've seen some people saying. I always enjoyed watching Lemon at USC. I know we played him every year. I think he's really good. I would probably take Tate given his measurables, though. I think he has the best chance to be a dynamic playmaker. I need to do more.
No love for Jordan Tyson.
I mean, look, they're all great players. I would take Tate, though. Who would you go with?
If you have to ask me honestly, I'm a huge Jordan Tyson fan.
That's what it sounded like from you from a second ago.
I know people are worried about the medicals. And if the medicals are bad, the medicals are bad. I get it. But if he can stay healthy in the NFL, this guy's going to be unreal. Like, this guy is an incredible blocker. He's incredible with the deep ball, the contested catches, the routes. Like, he does every single thing you want a complete wide receiver to do at an elite level. He just has to stay healthy.
Where's he being mocked right now?
He's being mocked towards the end of the first round. A lot of people have him going to like Kansas City. I think that after the combine, he's going to be moving up. People think he's slow. This guy is not slow.
Am I crazy? Why did I think I saw Carnell Tate in the top 10 of some mock drafts? Am I crazy?
Someone probably put him top 10 in the mock draft.
Okay.
Carnell Tate, I think, is the consensus one going into this, though it's not like some years where there's an obvious number one receiver.
I don't know.
I want wide receivers that can block in the NFL in 2026. And Carnell Tate is one of the worst blocking receivers in this draft. He tries at blocking.
I need to do, before I can give this a true answer, I need to do more tape watching on these guys. And honestly,
how about you stop watching hockey and start watching Carnell Tate tape?
I'm not going to watch like a lot of draft tape, honestly, but like from what I've seen of these guys, they're all solid. I'm not in love with any receiver in this draft, though.
It's not like some previous years where there's a receiver and you say that's the one. This feels a lot more like a few years ago where there's a bunch of different guys who are good at particular things.
The one with Addison?
Yeah, like the Addison draft.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Seabass the scumbag. If the NFL expands, which city should get a team? And Mr. DeBronto replied, Minneapolis.
Okay. If they expand, who should get a team?
Chicago, they're about to lose their team.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I still think they're going to end up in Illinois. I still think they'll be in Illinois.
If it's the Gary, Indiana Bears, I don't even know what you do if you're a Bears fan. That's so insulting to leave the.
It'll be a story.
If I'm like a lifelong Chicago resident and been following the Bears and they say, screw you guys, we're going to Gary, Indiana.
It'll probably be more
a middle finger to you as fans.
Well, they're not going to go to Gary. I thought it was going to be. I thought it was somewhere else. I thought there's.
They've given up on Arlington Heights. Like, Gary, Indiana is full send. The state of Indiana is trying to get him in. The Bears are showing interest.
Look, I mean, it'll be easier to get the games if you're a fan, probably. Like, you don't have to deal with all the Chicago traffic and stuff. I mean, for some fans, maybe not for the people.
Yeah, but then you have to go to a game in Gary.
I don't think it's actually in Gary, though, right?
That's their number one relocation site, and this is the second time they've gone deep into exploring it.
Look, if maybe if that's what it takes to turn Gary, Indiana around, I don't know.
I don't think the Chicago Bears are turning any.
I would put a team. Let's see, a city without a football team that deserves one.
My honest answer is Portland.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, you're a West Coast guy.
But it's not just because I've been there. There's desire for football. The fans show up in that city. Players tend to really like being there. Like, Seattle dominates the Pacific Northwest. I think introducing some competition there and getting Portland in would be a lot of fun.
I like that. But I don't know if that's what I'm trying to think where else could use a team.
Don't say like Oklahoma City.
No, I wouldn't say Oklahoma City. Let me see. Let me take a quick look. Quick look at some areas.
Paul Google's list of American cities.
I mean, St. Louis was one that came to mind, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if that would be problematic, given that the Rams just left there, giving them a team back. Salt Lake City, Utah. No, they'll probably go international at some point. Like, they're probably at some point they're probably gonna go to London. I don't want that though. I don't want the international teams. I think that would kind of suck.
I think that the biggest problem with the international teams is I don't think they'd be at such a disadvantage in the draft and free agency. No one would want to go there.
It'd be terrible. Yeah, I'll be with you on Portland. I'm not liking any of the, San Antonio's here. Yes, I'm seeing Salt Lake City, go back to San Diego. I'd probably do St. Louis. That's probably where I'd have another team back in St. Louis. All
right. This one's from Bandon Isafia, probably. My friends have been debating this. Which is worse? Running a 5K with sandpaper wrapped around the bottom of your shorts, leaving a circle on your thighs, or running a half marathon in new dress shoes?
Gosh.
For me, it's easily the 5K with sandpaper. That's much worse.
I think that's worse too, because you're having true. I mean, that would probably be remarkably painful.
Like,
depends how coarse the sandpaper is, but I'm assuming
assuming we're talking real deal sandpaper.
Yeah, if we're playing fair game here, I don't want sandpaper. Because
we can usually say, well, Skechers makes dress shoes that are really comfortable. We're going like bad case on both sides.
Yeah, I'll light jog in the dress shoes. It'll be horrible, but man, 13 miles. That's a long run though.
Let's put in, you have to race as hard as you reasonably can. Oh. You can't just be like, I'm going to take it easy.
Oh, then I'm going to run with the sandpaper. I'll destroy my legs for the 3.5. I'm curious if it'll be that bad. We're assuming though that like I'm going to have circles around my legs after this.
That's what it says, leaving a circle on your thighs.
Oh gosh.
Like, it's tough. That can't.
If I push myself for 13 miles right now, like, I don't think I'm a bad athlete, but I'm not a runner. Like, if I run 3 miles, I'm pretty gassed. So I'm just more worried about my actual health if I were to push myself for a full half marathon without training here. So I guess I'd have to sacrifice my thighs for my body here.
Oh man. I can't. You can't do the sandpaper. That just can't be correct.
Well, you're a good runner. You and Jack are both runners, so it's
but
I'm gonna have rings around my legs.
This is from Bryce WD23, a member. I grew up in Wisconsin watching the Packers and Brewers, and after moving to Minnesota, I started following the Timberwolves. Besides football, what other sports teams are you guys a fan of?
Go ahead, Ziggy.
For me, NBA. It's been the Portland Trail Blazers. Once our head coach got arrested for working with the mob, I'm still sort of a Trailblazers fan, but it was just tough to get excited about my team being bad year after year, and the coach is like on the keep.
Yeah, and affiliation with Moffitt. Yeah, that's a difficult.
That's tough.
Comeback.
Baseball, I don't follow it too closely, but my family's full of Dodgers fans, so I'm always rooting against whoever's playing. I'm always rooting against the Dodgers.
Any other sports?
Cycling, huge Visma Lisa bike fan.
Any other
enormous fan?
North American sports?
Well, there's one other major North American sport. We spent half the episode talking about how I don't watch it.
I like so I'm a Yankees fan and a Knicks fan. I was a big diehard New Jersey Nets fan until they betrayed me. And look, guys, loyalty is important. Whether it's
if I became a hockey fan, I'd become a Capitals fan.
Yeah, why?
Everywhere else I've lived a long time, I've picked up a sports team there. I haven't picked one up from Charlottesville. The Capitals are like the Washington DC teams are your local Charlottesville teams.
Okay, that's understandable. Yeah,
I have a soft spot for the Wizards from living in Charlottesville.
I get it.
Which, if you thought the Trailblazers were tough,
well, yeah, then hey, next year.
If you're the Wizards, you wish the coach was on pay from the mob, because at least that would explain why you're bad all the time.
Next year, you get Trae Young, you'll have AD back.
Neither of those players are going to play a game for the Wizards.
No, I used to be a big New Jersey Nets fan until they left, and that betrayal was tough.
They left. They went like 5 miles.
So, well, they left, but they left my state. They left my state for Brooklyn, and so I became a Knicks fan. And it took a while. Like when with Porzingis, a lot of my friends are Knicks fans, so I started rooting for them. And what made it easy is big Notre Dame football fan. My brother went to Nova, so obviously, love Nova basketball. It was easy to get more on board with the Knicks when they got Brunson, and obviously winning helps. So over the past few years, it's been a lot of fun rooting for the Knicks. And yeah, I like the Devils. And I luckily hopped on the Panthers bandwagon. Like, I say I'm a Devils fan, but I was rooting for the Panthers before they made one of the Stanley Cups. So I'm willing to say that I can also say I'm a Panthers fan.
And it's not as if the Panthers are a historically dominant franchise.
No, this wasn't like I was hopping on the, I don't even know hockey well enough to make a reference here. This isn't like I was hopping on the Patriots in the middle of the 2010s.
You weren't becoming a fan of the Lightning in 2020.
Yes, exactly. This was like rooting for my cousin's team, and just so happened that the sports god smiled on me for the first time in my life, pretty much.
All right. This one's from Joshua Tainter, a member. Would you rather have J.J. McCarthy or Malik Willis as your starting quarterback next year for the Minnesota Vikings?
I saw this question just kind of browsing through, and I had a hard time debating what I would want here. I think for me, I'd roll the dice again with McCarthy. I know that that's not clear and obvious, though, and that's the problem with what happened last season. So we were hoping we were in a spot where, our starting quarterback would be clearly better than the Packers' backup quarterback. But I'd have no problem if you came out here, Ziggy, and said Malik. Malik looked amazing whenever he played. And you could probably talk me into Malik if you had a good argument. But right now, I'd say let's give JJ another year and see where it goes.
See, if we sign Malik Willis to a 1-year deal and he plays well, we're just going to let him leave anyway.
Yeah, right. That's what we did. Well, let's see this, Ziggy. Would you sign him to the deal?
If I'm fool me twice, shame on me. If our coaching staff believes that Malik Willis is the guy who gives the best chance to win, then I'll be happy to watch him next year.
Yeah. But what would you do if you get a call from O'Connell? He's like, hey, Ziggy, we don't have a GM right now. I'm really torn here. We can get Malik for $20 million for next season. Then we could go from there if he has a good year. I'm really torn, though.
If you ask me, I just do not believe that Malik Willis has it in him to be a starting quarterback for 17 plus games.
Hater.
I think Malik Willis is a heavily improved football player. What he's done has been amazing. I think he can come in for stretches and look good. I think this is going to be like when the Bears signed Nick Foles after his run with Philly.
Okay.
And people realized, wait a second, this guy can't actually start.
And it's not, I know you're not trying to take a shot at Malik Willis because a lot of people think we don't like Malik Willis on this show.
I have no problem with Malik Willis. I will say this. I was dead wrong about Malik Willis when he went to Green Bay. I said that he'd never amount to anything because he was so horrible in Tennessee. I was wrong.
Yeah, no, he's had a phenomenal career resurrection here, and we'll see where it goes. I think he's going to get a shot. At the very least, he'll get a shot this offseason to compete for a starting job. And if he plays anything the way he did during the year with the Packers, he'll turn into a more than capable starter. But I'd roll the dice. I'd give JJ one more year. Again, it's been 10 games. So,
all right. This question is from Eddie Lacy. Shout out Eddie Lacy. Thanks for watching the show. If you guys could add any current player to the Packers, who would it be? Personally, I'd choose either Myles Garrett, Penei Sewell, or Pat Certain. I know who I'd add.
Any current player to Green Bay, like quarterback aside?
It doesn't say quarterback aside. I'll tell you who I'd add.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, why?
He will destroy that team from within. It doesn't say which player would make the Packers the best. It says, who would you add?
I'd add Antonio Brown. I would have him come out of retirement.
Player.
I'm sure we could
Juju put up like 400 yards last year. He's an NFL player.
What current player would really destroy them immediately? Tyreek's too dangerous because if that works out.
Yeah, no, if Tyreek Hill is good for a year, that's actually like this thing about Juju is he'll cause some trouble, but he's not actually.
But Juju causes trouble the way that your 9-year-old cousin causes trouble at a family event. It's like it's never really that serious. You're like, he's 9 years old. Like, let him do what he does. Like Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown walked in there.
It's like the worst locker room cancers in recent years, like Antonio Brown and Richie Incognito. Those guys have all retired.
Yeah, who's the worst locker room presence in football right now, or at least one?
I like that we've turned it into this question. Diggs.
No,
but not really.
No, the teammates like Stephon Diggs usually.
Yeah,
I mean, a funny one would just be like throwing Rodgers back there. It would be hysterical.
That would be pretty funny.
Like what? I don't know what happens if Aaron Rodgers goes back there just to back up.
Like I don't want to risk giving him like George Pickens.
No, you can't do that. He's too good. You need someone who is at their best is not good enough to propel them another level up. It's got to be a defender we could find. Who's a defender who just causes trouble wherever he goes? Why can't we think of this? I might just add Jair back.
Just see what happens. I mean, I guess the one thing you could say is, Carlton Davis of the Patriots had 13 defensive penalties this year. that was the most of any cornerback, even more than Keyshawn Nixon, who was second on defense with 11. Maybe just had a guy who's going to get a bunch of penalties.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't want to have someone with like legal troubles or anything like that. I'm trying to think of like truly.
No, that's not what we're.
Although I guess Antonio Brown, like there are clearly.
Well, Antonio Brown is just its own case.
Yeah, he's just his own nightmare right there. Are there guys that come out and just like rip? I think Rodgers, right? Rodgers is the one. I think Rodgers is not a bad choice there. I did Aaron Rodgers back and see what happens. But if we'll answer his question in good faith, if you could take anybody for Green Bay, I'd have a hard time not swapping in Mahomes or Josh Allen. I get that Love is, in my mind, a top 10 quarterback, but there are levels to these things. I would personally want Josh Allen or Mahomes at quarterback. Right now, with the injury, I'd probably pick Josh Allen if I were a Packer fan. Now, I could get anybody. Then you could trade Love and get a first round pick. Like if we're talking all crazy hypotheticals. Outside of QB though, Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons would be terrifying. I know that they could use help at like Surtain is an unbelievable player.
I actually think if I were picking cornerbacks, Christian Gonzalez is the guy
you could take Gonzalez. Sewell is amazing as well up front. If you want to give him, like Jefferson or a stud receiver, that would be fun for the Packers. But
it's got to be Myles.
If you had Garrett and Parsons, that's part of the reason I'm afraid the Lions might go after someone like Hendrickson, or I know the Bears have been talking about Crosby. They already have star pass rushers. You get two of them, and Micah and Garrett would be ridiculous.
I don't think people recognize the level Myles Garrett is on. I just have to say.
Myles Garrett right now is on as high of a level at the position as the history.
Myles Garrett had 23 sacks, with the rest of his defensive line being Alex Wright, Shelby Harris, and Mason Graham.
No, right now Myles Garrett is playing the position as well as anyone in the history of football. If you said right now Myles Garrett or Reggie White, some people might say Myles Garrett.
The fact that you can have the conversation is ridiculous.
Yes, nuts. All right, want to do like two more?
Yeah, we got a couple more to come in here. This is from Obenrick.
Okay.
If you were the general manager for the Packers, what would you do with Josh Jacobs? Would you cut him for a cap casualty? Would you restructure him?
I've had a lot of trouble with thinking through the Josh Jacobs situation, because I like Josh Jacobs and I overvalue running backs, as we know on this show. I think he's a really good running back. How old is he now?
He's 28.
28. I still think there's some good years there. If he would take a restructure, then you could restructure him.
Well, no, I'm assuming he's not going to take a pay cut. By restructure, I assume he means extend Jacobs and push the money.
And push the money back.
Here's the thing: if you cut Josh Jacobs, you get to save $8 million against the cap. That's nice. What are you doing with $8 million that's going to be more valuable than what Josh Jacobs brings to the offense? I know he's coming off a mediocre year. He didn't get to 1,000 yards on the ground. Josh Jacobs, when he's playing, is an important part of this offense. You're not doing better than him for $8 million. I don't understand the desire to.
So you would restructure, you'd extend and push the money back?
I'd leave it as is. $14 million in the cap hit's not great, but it's not.
Was that an option? I thought it was cut or restructure.
I assumed that. I think those were just possibilities. I'm assuming we can do whatever we want with Josh Jacobs.
If we can all leave it as is and everyone's fine, I'd probably just leave it as is. I think when he's going, he adds a threat, like you said, to their offense that is extremely valuable. There's a couple of games where there were a few games where we went on with Andy afterwards and we said, Jacobs' numbers didn't reflect it. We were even surprised. We had some reaction shows where we were like, oh wow, Josh only had 70 yards or something, where it felt like he had 100+ yards. They were just running tough, big first downs. I think he's really valuable, and he'd be a big loss to them.
Yeah, I wouldn't move on from him. Two more here. One's really quick from Dobby the Dominator. Always a longtime supporter. We appreciate it. Member Fantasy League next year.
Too hard to.
Unfortunately, not to brag. We're too big. We have too many members to do a fantasy league. I once did, when I was an undergraduate, I did a 60-person fantasy league.
That's too much.
It's a disaster.
It's too much. I love fantasy football, but it's like there comes a point where it's just like, all right, there's too many people in this league, and you're playing backup running backs. Like, oh my gosh. We will do the pick'em league.
I think the pick'em pool has actually worked out pretty well.
Oh, pick'em pool has been great.
The eliminator pool, like I like that stuff.
Yeah, our pick'em pool has been awesome. So we do that for members, and we do that we have a member pool, and we have a just regular listener that the members can still be a part of for free. And those were really successful this year. We had we had a couple people who were really impressive.
All right. This is the last one. It's from James Library. A question for everyone. Hopefully Jack and producer Zach are both there. Unfortunately not. Yeah. What is a moment watching? This is a good question for us, Paul. What is a moment watching your teams that made you think, I love being a fan of this team? Keep up the amazing work.
Oh, boy. No, the Vikings absolutely have those moments. That's the fun thing about being a Viking fan is even though you have heart ripped out moments, there are a lot of this is just awesome. Remember the Darnold locker room game last year? Was that Arizona?
To me, it was the Vikings-Bills game a few years ago.
No. That's the one
that Darnold locker room game was great.
The Vikings-Bills game, obviously the Minneapolis Miracle was the best. But the Vikings-Bills game was probably the second most fun I've ever had rooting for the Vikings. Like that game was just magical. That was so much fun. Half the Darnold year was great. I mean, that whole Vikings season in 2022 as well, where we walked off the Giants game with like the 60-yard
Vikings game,
the Colts Vikings comeback. I believe we did it in Washington too. We had a comeback.
I actually didn't watch that Colts Vikings game. I was at a UVA basketball game and I looked down and I saw Indianapolis 33, Minnesota Vikings 0, middle of the third. I'm like, why do I even watch this team? And then I just got a text from you like, we did it. I thought, what are you talking about? In like a basketball arena, you don't get great reception. I refresh and I see 36-39. I'm like, what the F just happened?
It was like, I know, yeah, it's 33-0. I was at a local basketball game for we're at Jack's brother's basketball game. And
this is before he worked hard on the show.
Yeah. And I'm watching on my phone, like the beginning of the game, and we're immediately like just getting crushed. So I race home right after the game and we're just getting dominated. Watch the first half and I leave to go to another former show member and Andrew's house.
You didn't just go off and drive in a straight line indefinitely.
No, I didn't. I was just like, I was stunned, but I was just like, all right, I guess, it's been a great year, but I guess we're just having a horrible game. And at Andrew's house, they're having a party at post game and Jack's there and they're watching. So a lot of people are big bettors in this room and Viking game's over. We turn on whatever else they were betting on that day. And I see like, I'm kind of tracking. I'm like 33-7. Okay. Like 33 and at 33, like 14 or whatever. I was like, you guys might want to throw a little money line bet here. And I think after the next touchdown they did, and when obviously that game got crazy, by the end of it, Ziggy, it's overtime. There are probably 10 shirtless dudes who it was like tarps off rally time. And there was a ton of like local town parents too. It was just a disaster. Everyone's drunk. And when we hit the game-winning field goal, there was a mosh pit celebration. Everyone won money. I had no money. I was just like euphoric as a fan. And I was like, I love this team. Like this team is amazing. That was great.
I think you said it well, Paul. Like this is what makes the Vikings so hard to follow is there's enough of those moments that it makes the moments where they inevitably let you down feel that much worse.
Yeah, it's why
it's you date a girl for a week and she cheats on you. It's like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care. This is how Browns fans feel when their team has another like 3-win season. You marry someone, you're in love with them, you really appreciate them as a person, and then they cheat on you. You're crushed.
Vikings.
The more you love them, the more it hurts when they let you down.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And that's life as a Vikings fan. That's why the NFC North is a great show or a great division for us to have a podcast about. Because they really are. Someone commented this the other day. They really are a division of teams where it's like there's very little middle ground. Like there's very little like just kind of average. At least right now, it's either you are having the best time of your life or you are just miserable. So it's a good division to have a show about. All right, we'll wrap it up there. nice job on the mailbag, Ziggy. We'll have again, there are more mailbag questions. We'll get to some more of them either later this week or early next week. We're going to try and do more of those as the offseason continues, because it is hard to find content, in the middle of February and with the combine.
Rolling Stoneworks, let us know what is in your pocket.
Yeah, and let us know as well if you enjoyed us talking a little bit of hockey earlier, talking some other big moments in sports. Trying to expand a little bit more there. So let us know, and we'll be back with Andy Herman on Wednesday morning.